What's going on, everybody? We are back. Fantasy football dad is back. We are drafting a puppy 3 team today on Underdog Fantasy. Obviously, some things that happened last night with preseason week number 1 underway. Tanner Mckee, top quarterback off the board, possibly your third quarterback if Hurts goes down. I don't know if it's just Tanner Mckee or if we're in for another ride of Bengals having to score 45 points to win a game, because I don't know about that defense. I don't think they've done anything that offset the disappointment that happened last year. And so I think we're in for a Bengals 45-point game average to make that playoffs. And I think it's going to start pretty quick. We saw Burrow get off with 2 touchdowns. So I guess Chase deserves the 1-0-1. I don't know. I guess, he showed that he still got it. And I think that, we're in for an exciting season when it comes to the Bengals. And then we have Tyler Bowers-McBride just on the field for every snap for the Colts. When they're used to running around guys like Mo Alley Cox, Kyler Granson, Will Mallory. You have 5 tight ends on that team, and they're all playing 5 snaps each. Finally, the Colts have Tyler Bowers, McBride, Warren. But unfortunately, the quarterbacks are still so shitty. You got Anthony Richardson saying, "Oh, I know next time I'll avoid that rush." No, you won't, bud. Unfortunately, you won't. You're going to get sacked again, and unfortunately, probably another body part will get injured, which sucks. I don't want to wish that on anybody, but that guy's processing speed is not ideal. Then you got Daniel Jones being Daniel Jones, that idiot running around, getting sacked, and probably not going to be doing much. I think the only positive was he completed more passes. I still think it's probably going to be him that's going to take over, or Anthony Richardson start game 1, but he probably won't last more than 2 quarters. So I think Daniel Jones right now falling in best ball drafts might be a value still. He did kind of have some reemergence. And I think that's going to help him, come back up, and let's see what happens with that. So, going to start drafting here. The Puppy 3 just opened up maybe about like an hour ago or an hour and a half ago, and already 3,500 degenerates have already entered. This is going to be a big one. They got 225,000 people actually entrants for this one. So this might just carry on to the end of the season. You never know. The best ball sickles are very sick. They're looking for their next feed, looking for their next score, and then the Puppy 3 hits that with the $5 buy-in, 150 entry max. So jump on and get your entry started with this one. Perfect for the first week as the preseason. Like I mentioned before, the hype is crazy. You're going to get some values, you can get some drops, you can get some risers, and it's time to really, kind of get through the noise and figure out, stick to your draft plans. The studs are going to be studs. No one's taking their job. You don't have to worry about, what's his even name, that, I don't know, the Philly wide receiver that, I guess, Jahan Dotson's wide receiver 3 role is probably not the safest role, I would probably imagine. He probably can get inserted anytime. So I guess maybe if there's a wide receiver that shows up in preseason, there's chances are that might be able to get a lot of snaps as wide receiver 3. The 2 studs are there, Devonta and AJ Brown, but that wide receiver 3 role is available. So interesting. Sometimes I guess, it does make sense for positions like that where it's a wide receiver 3 that you could step up and actually get in there. So let me get in there. Let's do this right now. We're not waiting too long, which is great. And if you like what I'm talking about, if you like the draft, if you like whatever I'm saying, please like and subscribe. Don't get many viewers on this account yet, but I do want to kind of build a base and start getting into it as the season goes on, so I can kind of share some thoughts when it comes to the fantasy football redraft leagues as you have them going on. But also I just love best ball, so I'll be doing that all the way up until the last minute of probably the day of the first game on the Thursday. So yeah, best ball content is going to continue for the next month. This is prime season. This is getting, understanding what happened in this off season, and also, the movement between players on teams and coaching changes and all that stuff. Good stuff. Now's the stuff when you're going to get like some newbies coming in. So you're going to see some crazy drafting. Jalen Hurts probably going to be moving up. Players that are well known or have gone to the Super Bowl, like the Eagles, probably going to be moving up quite a bit. Saquon kind of moving back up to his second or third draft position. He's kind of fallen back down. So, yeah, interesting to see. For this draft, pick position number 7, which, as I've kind of mentioned in previous streams, I'm the second half drafter of any draft board. I'm always looking at either anywhere from 7 to 12, mostly 10 to 12 as a draft position. So the end of the board is like my home. I know all the characters that are around my home. And so so with number 7, I usually like going to Christian McCaffrey. To me, if there's no health concerns for McCaffrey, CMC, he is a top 3 pick for sure, behind, or mixing Saquon and Bijan and Chase and all those guys. He's up there. So it usually ends up falling. I don't want to make a guarantee, but I'll usually take him around that as my first pick in that 7th spot. I just think that if he's healthy, he's going to eat, and San Francisco needs him. They lost Debo, so there goes that little worry about Debo taking some rushing production away or getting some touches around the red zone or, near the goal line. So, and I think they kind of realize, when CMC's not there, they're not a great team. They kind of underachieved last year and didn't do well. A lot of injuries, obviously, with the wide receivers and the running backs. So, yeah, I think it's a bounce back. Easiest schedule, apparently, according to Warren Sharp. So, we can't take that lightly. You're going to have some easy games that CMC could probably score 2-3 touchdowns and have his signature catches to throw in there. So, yeah, I like that one right there. Coming around here for pick number 18, we still have Ashton Jeanty on the board. Not the greatest debut yesterday, just 3 carries, -1 yards, right? Like, even I have better stats than him at this point when it comes to preseason, right? Even my 0 yards per carry is better than his negative 0.33. But for this one, let's go with A.J. Brown. I haven't got much of him. I haven't been able to get much of A.J. Brown. A little bit of concerns for me is that what I've read in the past is Philly had some good passing numbers in the first half, but when they start beating the shit out of other teams, second half is not that much passing. I think his target percentage goes down considerably in the second half for A.J. Brown, and I think Devonta and Goddard. So a little bit of concern there. I think, you would need teams to start pushing the Eagles, but with that defense, with that offense, I think we're going to have the same type of situation as last year. You're going to have a good team they'll probably take the air out of the ball in the second half, so you got to live with that. But good thing about A.J. Brown is when he has those big games, he has those big games, right? So it just takes a couple of, if he can stay healthy, if he can put in the, give you a full schedule, which probably won't. I think he already has hamstring issues in training camp. So we got the concerns there. But if he is able to, put it together, play, and then there's some close games, we can benefit from that, right? We saw him go off in the playoffs when the games counted, when they needed the points. So if they have to pass, AJ Brown is going to be awesome. But that's the good thing about the puppy. 150 entries. Play around with it. Kind of mix and match some combos. McCaffrey and Brown to start off with here. Let's take a quick look. I don't really like this new format. Like, it looks cool with the pictures and stuff, but at the same time, I used to like the numbers, the ADP. My brain does not think too fast when I have to convert 3.3 over to, like, shit, what is that? 37, 38, 39. 3.3 is 39, people. That's what you learn here. So yeah, you gotta do stuff like that. That's not cool. I don't want to, like, have to do that. And I gotta do math and stuff. Like, come on, man. Pick number 43. I gotta do math. No, not sorry. That's not me. 31. See, I told you this math is not a strong suit for me. Let's get on that chalk train. Let's take some Hampton. I really don't have much. Especially where he's going right now. I kind of always miss him. So I want to get some exposure to Hampton. But I also think Najee later on in the draft for where he's going is a great pick too. Because, like, it's obviously with Najee, it's not a leg or a knee or a typical running back injury. He just can't see, man. Poor guy. And another PSA for NFL players, please stay away from the fireworks. Like, I don't know why you guys need to play with fireworks. Why can't you just hire somebody that does that? Like, why do you need to get close to that kind of stuff? Like, maybe, JPP, should come out, like, retirement, just do these, like, training camp tours and talk about the risks of fireworks, because unfortunately NFL players do not get it. They don't get that, like, stay away from the fireworks, man. Coming around here at pick number 42. I honestly want to, I'm going to worry about my math. Like, what's going on here? Yeah, like 4.6 is 42, okay? So figure that out, man. So got a couple of picks here. I am going to go with, I like Tet. I like Pickens. Let's go with Tet McMillan. Big risk, big reward. He's going to be that wide receiver number 1. But it all just depends on Bryce Young and whether or not he can step up and be that guy. Positive in the last second half of that season after the benching. He came back with a little bit of a vengeance and put together a good, end of the run, end of the season run there to kind of be able to show that he belongs. But at the same time, it does worry you to see if that, if that's going to last. But if it does last, then you got Tet McMillan, number 1 wide receiver, top 10 pick, guy that's probably going to get the ball. And chances are you have a great coach in Dave Canales, an offensive coach that knows how to move guys around in positions, and we'll probably get the best out of him. So let's get some Tet McMillan. And to be honest, I don't know if I have this combo right here, like this 4-man combo of CMC, Hampton, AJ Brown, and Tet McMillan. So a little bit different as well. And so I'm going to try to ride with this and let's see what I can build. And then, so we have coming up here 3 picks. I'll probably stick to wide receiver. I got DK Metcalf, Devonta Smith, who just goes. I was probably going to take Devonta. Ridley, Zay Flowers, and we got Roma Dunze. I probably won't go running back because I don't need it right now. So it's between Waddle and, you know what? I'm going to take Waddle. And that is because I think Waddle gives me a great. I think there is. I don't know, man. Tyreek's losing his head. He's just all over the place, unfortunately. You know, he's talking about what the running back room should be. He's talking about quitting on the team. I don't know. That guy, obviously very talented, very fast, but at the same time, I don't know. He looks like Antonio Brown 2.0, right? Like, I don't know if he's on that path of doing that kind of stuff, but you know, quitting, maybe retiring during the game. You never know with Tyreek. It seems like he is gonna possibly retire in the middle of the third quarter, week 3. So let's stick to Waddle. If for any reason Tyreek does lose his head, we're getting Waddle wide receiver 1 for the Miami Dolphins, and that would be awesome, right? You also have the benefit of getting Tua very late in these best ball drafts. So stacking Tua with Waddle, very easy if you hold off on quarterbacks. So and the good thing I like about Tua is that guy's home and away splits are deadly. Okay, so as your second or third quarterback, when that guy's at home, he's going to score a bunch of points. But when he's away, he sucks. So I think it's always good to pair him with a really top, strong quarterback. So when you get those spike home games for Tua, you're laughing. I'm going to take one of my favorites. I love this guy. I'm going to take Deebo Samuel. Obviously, I feel like McLaurin's going to get signed. I've kind of mentioned that in the past. McLaurin will get signed. But for any reason he doesn't, or, you know, these kind of late entries to training camp, like the McLaurins, like CeeDee Lamb in a couple of years ago, they get slow starts. They're prone to injuries. So if that happens, if McLaurin is out, guess who is wide receiver number 1 with Jaden Daniels, potential MVP for this year? You get Deebo Samuel. So as my wide receiver number 4, not bad. He's gone up. I remember early in the drafts, I was drafting him early in the offseason, sorry. And he was pretty, like the 70s. So he's coming up, you know, obviously with all this McLaurin, I'm not getting signed yet. You know, people are coming around to seeing Deebo, and the Deebo highlights are real, man. You got skinny Deebo, okay? It's not Deebo like it's not Friday Deebo anymore, right? You got skinny Deebo. So I think that if there's anything happens with McLaurin in a sense where he's getting slow off the gates or is not able to get training camp reps in, he might be, you know, Jaden Daniels might look to Deebo for the first half of the season. Oh man, I love Golden. I wish I can get him, yeah, but of course he is gone. Thanks for playing. See what I can do here. 79. I'm gonna take a bit of a gamble here, and take Godwin. Obviously, not great news coming out yesterday that he might not be ready for week 1. So I feel like his ADP will drop. But they say he's on track. So the best thing about best ball is you are drafting 8 wide or 7, 6 to 7 wide receivers. So you have the guys that maybe could carry you in the first few weeks, since there are no buys until I think week 5. So there's no buys until week 5. So if he takes the first 4 weeks, has to go in the pup, you got AJ Brown, Tet, Waddle, Deebo to kind of help you get through those first 4 weeks, and then Godwin's back, right? And if he's okay, if he's kind of feeling all right, feeling himself, he should be okay to kind of step back in. But if not, for any reason, there's that, it's not, he's my wide receiver 5, and potentially if he's good to go, you're getting quite a bit of a value for him. So I love that ability to get him as he drops now, with all that injury scare. So, a little bit of a dilemma here. Let's go with Michael Pittman. What am I doing? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Colts look shitty, and I'm taking Pittman. But, you know, in this last little bit of wide receivers you got here, Jaden Higgins, Mooney, and Cup, not much of a difference, I think, if you're going to go that route. I have the 2 strong running backs, so I'm going to kind of rely on them taking wide receivers right now. So Pittman did not play yesterday, and the quarterbacks that did play are the ones that might be starting, and they did nothing to help alleviate any concern that you might have with Pittman. But A.D. Mitchell did play. He got some targets. Okay, A.D. Mitchell got some targets. So if that's Pittman in the offense, he's gonna get targets. And I did look, and we've seen Daniel Jones can support a wide receiver one. He not like emotionally or in a good way, but he can support, like he can pass him the ball here and there. So if he gets a few catches, that's all you need from your wide receiver 6. And I started off the show with a call out to the next Brock Bowers, to the next Trey McBride, to the next Sam Laporta. You guys have an idea where I'm going with this. I am a sucker for that preseason hype. It showed. He played every snap. He got targeted when he's on the field. It looks like we have a potential sleeper here as your tight end 9 right now off the board. Tyler Warren. And come on down, my friend. You are the next contestant on the Fantasy Football Dad Is Not Right. What am I doing taking 2 Colts players when I'm bashing their quarterbacks? I don't know. Call me a preseason sucker. Call me the guy that just saw the team play. I'm that guy that probably wears a Colts jersey when it's in England, when it's the Chiefs playing against the Bengals. I'm that guy. I don't know what I'm doing here. Obviously, I'm going to have to make a decision here. A decision that few people shouldn't have to make in their life, of whether you want Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones as your 3rd quarterback. Like, I can't believe I have to make this decision in my adult life. But that's what we do right here. That's what we do on this channel. We make the tough decisions. And that's the decision we're going to have to make today. Are we taking Daniel Jones and all his limitations, or Anthony Richardson and all his limitations? Which one has the fewest limitations? Which one sucks the least? That's a question we're gonna have to answer later in this draft. So stay tuned if I have your attention. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna wait on quarterback. Let's take a running back. Let's take the man that can smash. He can potentially smash if Kenneth Walker is injured. And Kenneth Walker is unfortunately injured quite a bit. He is not the poster child, poster board. What do they call it? Poster child? I don't know. Anyways, he is not the poster child for health. You're not going to see him on any, healthy living or any Ironman streaks anytime soon of guys that have played these many regular season games without missing one. Kenneth Walker is guaranteed to miss some games. And when he does, Charbonnet he smashes, man. Okay. So all you need is one unfortunate injury to happen, and Charbonnet in that lead role of an offense that has brainwashed all their players to say, we are only going to run the ball. That's all they're going to do. They're going to run the ball. They fired OCs because he wanted to pass. They don't give a shit. They just want to run. Okay. So, and Jalen Milroe, man, that guy, I don't know if you saw the highlights, maybe just YouTube him. Some sick moves there. I liked what I saw. And I think definitely if you get that passing, and he had some good throws. I don't think he was that bad passing. Oh, Keenan Allen, 121. He had some good throws. When you got that speed, when you have a guy like that can move like that, and has the potential to he opens so much in that offense. So, man, if Jalen Milroe gets an opportunity, it'd be fun to watch. But Right now, let's stick to, like, come on, man, you're distracting me here. Let's stick to the draft. We got Charbonnet, who could potentially be an RB1 if his buddy Kenneth Walker has to miss some time. And we are back in here. Let's see, who am I looking at? I don't know. I probably have to think of a quarterback soon. Let's take Herbert to pair with Hampton. Very micro stack. I'll probably be able to, God, Keenan already went. That was a good. I could probably get that idiot QJ who loves dropping the easiest balls and probably getting replaced anyways. But have KLS, the savior. And I don't have to really get a wide receiver now until later in the draft, so I'm good. But I will look for my other guy I was talking about here. And I just want to get him. I don't want to run the risk. He is the next quarterback up. So I do have to kind of reach for Tua. Because there's the potential of me getting sniped, as he's the top rated quarterback. So if anyone's auto drafting, I'll get sniped. So I will have to take Tua here. At pick 138. I'm the guy that's raising his ADP. You can all blame me for him going now at higher ADP. He was at 151. I picked him at 138. The algorithm will now factor that in. So I got Justin Herbert, and I got two week 12 bye quarterbacks. Like, that is awesome planning if you ever saw it. Thank you, everybody. Don't do what Fantasy Football Dad does. Honestly, I just got to figure something out. I love talking. I love drafting. Can I do both at the same time? No. Okay. Kind of like I like drinking. I like driving my car. Can I do both at the same time? Unfortunately, I cannot. It is illegal, and I will never do that. Because I'm strictly against it and I hate it so much. But, you know, drafting and talking is not something that's easy, folks. Trust me. Get on your stream. Do it. Do it like me. Just get on, make a YouTube page, get on there and draft one while talking. Honestly, you confuse yourself sometimes and mess it up yourself. But without that being said, let's kind of go on. Let's look at our team here. We got Pittman and Warren. So I'll probably have to take one of these two idiots, Richardson or Daniel Jones, as my third quarterback to fill in the bye week. So I got to get that right. I'm probably going to go for a tight end here. And I have one that I like. He doesn't get sniped. Najee goes. That was potentially a running back I was looking at. But I believe in Hampton. I feel like he's going to be electric, and I feel like he will have a big role, especially if Najee can't see where he is. Hollywood Brown dropping quite a bit here. So Whittem took my Bryce Young that I was probably looking at, but like I said, I'll probably have to stick to the Colts since I have two pass catchers. Let's take Kyle Pitts because I'm a sicko. I'm sick. I like getting hurt. I like getting punished. Pitts, one of my top players last year in draft that I drafted, and oh man, did he disappoint. And he probably will disappoint me again this year. So, you know, nothing beats a sucker for repeat, punishment. We have that Quentin Johnson. I can still use that stack. I'm going to have to take a fourth running back here soon. I like the Jalen Wright. I think he is going to have a role this year, and I think not too bad in training camp. So, you know, I can't go wrong. I can't go after the guy for doing that. But let's take QJ here. Someone's got to take that idiot. Might as well be me. And it's not my position here. Let's take QJ. At least I get him past ADP, so that'll make me feel good when he drops a potential touchdown in week 1. 14 picks past ADP will offset the hurt and the TV that'll probably break when QJ drops that pass. So I have right now 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 7 wide receivers, and 2 tight ends. I have Justin Herbert and Tua as my quarterbacks, CMC, Omarion Hampton, and Zach Charbonnet as my running backs, AJ Brown, Tet, McMillan, Jalen Waddle, Debo, Chris Godwin, Michael Pittman, and Quentin Johnston as my 7 wide receivers. And I have Tyler Warren, Kyle Pitts as my tight ends. A very, very worrisome tight end room, even though I believe in my man Tyler Warren. But at the same time, Kyle Pitts, you can't count on that idiot. So I just have to count on my man Penix saying that he's getting him the ball. So if that's the case, we're gonna hope that's the case, and we're gonna see if we can have I don't know what kind of breakout we're looking for Kyle Pitts. You know, a year 4, year 5. I swear that guy has too many lives. I think this is his last year though. If he doesn't do anything this year, I'm pretty sure they're gonna cut bait and cut him loose. So yeah, Whittam, you've kind of let him come, buddy. Let him come. Don't do it. Thank you. I'm gonna take Jalen Wright to pair with my micro stack with Tua, and then add the Waddle in there. I got 3 Miami Dolphins. I haven't really incorporated the playoff stacks, playoff games, week 15, 16, and 17. Probably not a good thing, but at this time I still have to memorize it, right? Like it's like school. I have to memorize those games, like who's playing who, right? For me, I just want to get there and let the chips fall where they do. If one game goes off and I don't have it, it is what it is. But there's so many, it's so many variables that go into football. A game that we might think is like going to be, one of those games that are going to go off in week 17 could have 2 backup quarterbacks playing because both starting quarterbacks got injured, or it's a snow game, or it's anything could happen, right? There's so many factors. So I don't know if you really want to pinpoint too many games, but I guess if you're drafting quite a few best ball teams, it does make sense to correlate on that. Took Mike Gesicki. No other reason. I had a choice by Mason Taylor, which I have a lot of. I love Mason Taylor. Unfortunately, I got a high ankle sprain. And he was killing the camp. He was emerging as a second passing option for Fields, who does love his tight ends, okay? If you take one note out of here, listen to me. He loves his tight ends. If Mason Taylor is able to get back in for week number 1, Mason Taylor will eat this season, and that is why I have a lot of him. It makes me kind of nervous because I have a lot of Tyler Warren and Mason Taylor, so I'm relying on the 2 rookie tight ends, which was a big no-no in the last few years. But gone to seeing like opportunity, can't stump opportunity. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna take Gesicki, but I love Mason Taylor, and I would recommend you all to take him. He is a great pick. Later in the draft, Keaton Mitchell looked, oh man, that guy was back, yesterday looked good. Unfortunately, probably won't get much playing time if Derrick Henry is healthy, but if Derrick Henry was to ever go down, Keaton Mitchell's going to eat, because Justice Hill is a passing pass catching running back, so he's not going to eat in those early down carries. So if Keaton Mitchell was to get on that field, oh man, something that unfortunately happens to Derrick Henry, that guy's a league winner. Trust me. He will eat if he can stay healthy too. Unfortunately, he had some injuries last year that took him out. But yeah, Keaton Mitchell, looked good yesterday. Another preseason hype, right? Hype candidate right there. But that, obviously, Derrick Henry's not going anywhere. They're not going to give Keaton Mitchell extra carries just because he did well in a preseason game. But just goes to show, if something was to happen to Derrick Henry, if something was to happen on that, that Mack truck, unfortunately, you don't want that to happen. But if something was to happen, you're going to have Keaton Mitchell step in. Who do I like? 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 Kyle Manungai, come on down, bud. Kind of a reach here. Don't know if he's going to do anything. But Roschon looks like the goal line back. DeAndre Swift will be the guy to start off with. And I think he's going to have a big role. Kyle Manungai, I don't know where he steps in, right? I don't know where he fits in. But if something happened to Swift or Swift gets injured, I think Manungai might take the early down work. And Roschon wouldn't really be that guy, because I don't know, how come the coaches don't want Roschon running these long carries? Like, what's up with that? Like, is his efficiency that bad? I've made a decision, guys. Well, I only had to make the decision because Anthony Richardson probably got drafted already. Yeah. I am taking Daniel Jones. He is going to be the guy that's going to play the most games. Does he suck? Yes, he does. But he hopefully plays week 12, because otherwise I have no quarterback. But he is going to support Michael Pittman on this team. He is going to support Tyler Warren. And he's going to lead me to fantasy gold. Okay? I can't confidently say that. But there's an ounce of me that believes in Daniel Jones. He's played in New York. Okay? He's played for one of the toughest media markets ever. And he sucked there. But the only thing I like about Daniel Jones is that he played for Duke. I am a big Duke fan when it comes to college basketball. So for that, my allegiance lies with Daniel Jones. I have my team. It's a 3 quarterback, 5 running back, 7 wide receiver, 3 tight end build. I have Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa, Daniel Jones as my 3 quarterbacks. Please don't hate me for the Daniel Jones pick, and please like and subscribe if you enjoy me picking Daniel Jones. That kind of, makes you happy inside. My running backs are CMC, Christian McCaffrey, Omarion Hampton, Zach Charbonnet, Jalen Wright, and Kyle Manungai. Okay. Jalen Wright, I really have big hopes for. I really think he is going to be the guy that's going to run it in for the red zone or the goal line situation. So, and probably, and that might not even happen to begin with. So who knows, right? But according to Tyreek Hill, every running back in the Miami Dolphins room sucks. So he might suck too. Who knows? Anyways. Wide receiver, I have A.J. Brown, Tet McMillan, Jalen Waddle, Deebo Samuel, Chris Godwin, Michael Pittman Jr., Quentin Johnston. I have my stack with Jalen Waddle, and I have my stack with Quentin Johnston. Not ideal. I need to go back and look at the draft, where I always like to look back at the board and see where I could have possibly taken certain players to kind of see if I could have made different types of stacks for next time. But those are my 7 wide receivers. Chris Godwin at pick 79 as my wide receiver number 5. If he comes back after the pup, if he does go on the pup week 5 when the bye start, that's perfect. If if he's healthy after that and good to go, obviously we have Egbuka, but 3 wide receivers can eat in that offense if they're going to pass a lot, right? So if you have Godwin coming in and being healthy, I don't think he's a bad pick as your 4th or 5th wide receiver. Then my tight ends, I have Taylor, Warren, Bowers, McBride, Laporta. The love child of Bowers and McBride. Tyler Warren showed in the preseason that he is here to play all the snaps. The Colts aren't going to run around, but introduce to us 4 different tight ends every game. We're going to probably have one that's going to be playing the majority of them. And he got targeted by those idiot quarterbacks. So we have Tyler Warren. We have Kyle Pitts. He is the president of the How I'm Going to Disappoint You fan club. He is probably going to disappoint me again. But if Penix is dropping back 50 times and dropping dimes with Darnell Mooney possibly out for the first couple of games, who knows, that shoulder injury, we don't know yet. He might be okay for week 1. But if you have a pocket passing quarterback, although he had Kirk Cousins, but Kirk Cousins, didn't really do much to lift up Pitts. But if you have Penix who likes to spread it around, hopefully Pitts can bounce back. And I picked Gesicki because, like I said in the beginning, Bengals defense is going to suck pretty bad. There's going to be a 45 point average that the offense will have to score to make it to the playoffs, to win games. So if Gesicki gets 1 or 2 of those passes, possibly one of those 6 or 7 touchdowns that can be thrown or scored every game, hopefully Gesicki can get one of those per game. And I like his chances, right? He's going to be the possibly third option in that passing offense, 3rd or 4th with Yoshivas. But if T. Higgins and his poor hamstrings were to go down, Gesicki steps up. I think in the games that Higgins missed, Gesicki had some of his best games last season. So if he does go down, Gesicki steps into that slot wide receiver role. He's not a tight end, buddy. Everybody, just a PSA. He's not a tight end. He is a slot wide receiver. That slot wide receiver is second passing option for Joe Burrow, who's gonna have to score 45 points a game. That's money right there as my 3rd tight end. Tight end room is looking weak, not the greatest. So I have a lot of belief in Tyler Warren, but that's just me. If anyone ever comments on my page, I'm hoping for that one person to say, Tyler Warren sucks. You're an idiot. Why are you drafting him so much? And yeah, that'll bring me down back to earth. Let's go back and look at the draft board to kind of get an idea of where I could have made some different changes if I wanted to go a different way. I did take Omarion Hampton. So maybe right here, I maybe dropped the ball right here in the 4th round. I took Tet McMillan in the 4th round, and I probably could have taken Hurts. Luckily for me, this MN Bass thought it would be ideal to have Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts as his 2 quarterbacks. So, when you have a guy taking quarterbacks like that back to back, he obviously knows what he's doing. Yeah. Okay. Not a bad team. Got some correlation in there. Yeah, not too bad. His team built. So, yeah, maybe he's okay. Maybe he knows what he's doing. But for me, yeah, I could have possibly taken Jalen Hurts as my 4th round pick and maybe skipped on Ted McMillan. So that's one. I picked Jalen Waddle there. That pocket of the draft, I love Waddle, I love Metcalf, I love Ridley, I love Rodunze. So I love Flowers, but I just sometimes I wonder how much passing he can, how much is he really going to win you, weeks, given the limitations of, like, I don't know if he could spike weeks. Like, he could put up a couple, but I think what I'm relying on is Tyreek losing his mind and Waddle stepping into the wide receiver 1 role. So that's the gamble. And like I said, it's easy to pair him with Tua as you get on. So moving on, Debo as my 6th round pick. Wouldn't have done anything different there. I took Godwin. I could have taken Josh Downs, I guess. Cup, Higgins, Mooney, Shaheed went all after him. I could have taken a tight end, I guess, at that point too. Hawkinson. So I could have taken Hawkinson if I wanted to, skip on that Godwin. If that injury kind of scares me, I could have taken Hawkinson, possibly paired him with McCarthy in the next couple of rounds after that. So that was an option. Running backs, Pollard, Jones, Robinson, you kind of have the same type of trio there. But I think with my 2 running backs to start off with, I didn't really want to go for a third one that early. The next one I took Pittman. Could have taken Cup, Higgins, Mooney, Shaheed. So yeah, I don't know. It looks kind of similar as to these wide receivers. I don't think I'm okay with Pittman. I had to take Warren there. I love Ingram a lot. I have a lot of him too, but I just have to kind of jump on that preseason hype train and take Warren here. My next pick, I took Charbonnet, either Scatterbo or Stevenson. I don't know. I like Charbonnet. Like I said before, if Kenneth Walker does go down, you have a running back 1 who's going to smash. So Zach Charbonnet is my pick there. I picked Herbert here in the 11th round. So yeah, in a sense, I could have maybe taken the Hawkinson pick at the 7th round and then had Tyler Warren as my second tight end, taking Charbonnet, and then maybe taking JJ McCarthy. So I could have done that stack. I rather, looking back at it, maybe a McCarthy and Hawkinson stack would have been better than a Justin Herbert QJ stack, So yeah, I've disappointed my family with that, with those choices. Going on, I took Tua a little bit early, like I said, because Whittam took Bryce Young's, and Tua was the next quarterback at that stage, so I think he probably would have taken Tua possibly, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't lose him on that, given that I was relying on that Waddle stack. So, Pitts after that. Yeah, likely Henry, Ertz going after. So I guess I could have possibly waited, but then I had to make the QJ stack. So I kind of dug myself in a hole here, I think, maybe with 13, 14. I think, looking back at it, I would have gone with Hawkinson, McCarthy instead of this pocket, and then I possibly could have gotten maybe an extra tight end. Maybe I would have got Braylon Allen actually. So Braylon Allen would have been my next pick there, and then with QJ I probably would have gone with Dante Thornton Jr. instead of QJ. So if I had talking quite a bit of confusion here, but instead of taking Godwin, taking Hawkinson here in the 7th round, taking JJ McCarthy in the 11th round, taking Tua still in the 12th, and then here I probably would have taken Braylon Allen in my 13th. Come around here, have taken Dante Thornton, and then I would have stuck with a Jalen Wright pick here. So I guess that's the subs I could have made. And I probably will think about that when QJ drops a pass in the end zone, like I said, week 1, or maybe he'll do me a solid and do it in week 2. Give me 1 week of grace. And then next, moving on, Gesicki. I've talked about Mason Taylor. I love him. Chig, I like him as well. Mr. Inconsistent. They did draft a tight end behind him, so And then Kyle Monangai as my 17th. I probably would have taken Keaton Mitchell there. To be honest, I was going to take Keaton Mitchell. I was talking about him, but Monangai is if Swift is not that great, gets injured, Roshan is not to be trusted. We got Manangai stepping into a Ben Johnson offense. And then my last pick, I took the man, the legend, Daniel Jones. The man who completed the most passes yesterday as a starting quarterback battle for the Colts. So chances are he probably will get the week 1 role. I have 2 quarterbacks with two week 12 buys because I'm an idiot. And so Daniel Jones, please just play to week 12. Just play on week 12. I don't give a shit if you don't play the rest of the year. Just play week 12. That's all I really need. It's not like I'm relying on Daniel Jones to put up any spike weeks. If this idiot plays week 12, that's all I need from him. Okay. So maybe after the bye, I don't know, something happens. Who knows? Maybe they say your job's on the line. We don't want both of you idiots are gonna be done. And they got, who do they have back there? Riley Leonard. Who's the third quarterback in Indy? I'm pretty sure we're gonna see a third quarterback in Indy for sure this season. So that's it. I have to go. I will come back. I will be back, and I will do another draft today. Hope to get some people to come in here. Please like and subscribe. You know, I would love it. Like and subscribe. And, you know, I'm putting up different types of things here. Hopefully these banners catch on and somebody wants to like and subscribe. It'd be awesome. Once again, that is it for Fantasy Football Dad. I have to go cut the grass. I will be back after I'm done cutting the grass. Your good dad does. And I will draft another Puppy 3. Or maybe a Best Ball Mania, right? Maybe I'm ready to step up into the big boys. Ready to kind of get my hands dirty. And let's get a Best Ball. I do have some Best Ball Mania teams already. Sorry, but I don't want to make it seem like I'm a complete loser. But I do already have some teams. But let's show that I belong with the big boys. You know? Have a great rest of your afternoon. I will be back soon. And if you, like I said, like and subscribe, please, 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 please like and subscribe. Get some viewers in here. I want to talk. I want people to write some comments. I don't give a shit. If in the comments says you suck, if I get you suck 10 times on these comments, that's good enough for me. I'll take it, right? At least I'm seeing some comments coming through, right? Like, just makes me happy, right? It's just like that interaction of the new substitute teacher. Even if the class says you suck, at least you know they have a pulse, right? You know that they see you, right? I don't want to be the guy sitting in the back of the class that doesn't get seen, or the substitute teacher that no one cares about. I just want to be seen, everybody. Please. I'm your dad. Take care, everybody.